Ba-da-ba-da-bow. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I am really fucking hot today. It's hot. It's really hot today. I have my AC set to high on 69 degrees. Nice. But yes, it's been a while. It's been a little while since I started streaming. And to be completely honest with you, there's actually two reasons for that. Let's see, what was it? On Wednesday, 2 days ago, went to the dentist, got a crown topping. So I'm like, my mouth is numb. I can't do anything. So I'm not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna stream because I can't mouth. And then, as if like by nature, everything just ended up getting worse and worse. On Thursday, when I wanted to stream Stardew Valley, my allergies were acting up to no fucking end. Literally, as soon as I got home after work, I sneezed 9 times in a row. I ended up hurting my back because of that. It was not fun what happened there. So yeah. Hi Zoe. Yeah. I couldn't stream yesterday either because like I just like said fuck it, I give up, I'm gonna go sleep. And today my nose is still bothering me. I've taken all the medication I can to stave it off. I've done nasal rinses to stave it off, but my nose is bleeding. It's bleeding, it's not bleeding like profusely, it's just like it's just blood. It's just blood. Like it's broken or something, but it's not. It's just blood. It's super fucking annoying. But nothing much I could do about it. Today I was planning to go back to the dentist to give them my night guard because I want to. Okay, TLDR, I'm getting a crown on my tooth, right? One of my teeth. But they wanted my night guard because they wanted to adjust it so that, you know, in the event that I put it back on, it should fit with the new crown, right? Thing is, I haven't grinded my teeth in a very long time. Not ever since I got that CPAP machine to deal with the sleep apnea I've got. So that's another entire thing. So Wednesday and Thursday, didn't get to stream at all. What did I do? I played Stardew Valley by myself because that's all I could do. I wanted to play Age of Empires, but I'm like, I don't feel like asking anyone right now when I feel miserable. I wanted to play Monster Hunter, but I'm like, I haven't done main quest, so I can't proceed further with where I want to do. I can't really farm anything except for armor spheres. Which, don't get me wrong, I can farm armor spheres, but I don't want to. And then I wanted to play this game too because I wanted to keep going with the story because last week we ended the stream abruptly because of a chat I didn't want to see. It's still in my head. I don't want to see that chat anymore. This is a fair warning to everyone. If you decide to post something in chat that ruins my mood and my immersion, you are probably going to get 100% banned. Straight up. That's it. End of discussion. I will bring it up to people who just come in, but if you're watching this as a VOD and you decide to want to pop in and chat someday in the future, just know that if you say something dumb that I really don't like, that makes everything negative for me, I'm banning you. See that hammer up there that's Bibu hitting me? Yeah, that's going to be happening to you, but much, much more painful. Alright, so I don't remember what happened. We found... I'm gonna have to review everything. Red-Headed League, Gregson is dead. We found out about Mr. Vigil. We're learning about the case that happened 10 years ago with the professor and his execution that never happened. And we also got his trunk. And a passport, which is the worst part, the worst thing to find. And then the Asogi papers about that will. Which might be fake, who knows. Let's see if I remember. Let's see if I can at least handle the heat today. Speaking of that, I'm just gonna turn on my fan to go along with it and have that damn thing hitting me because my god, it's hot. It is hot as fuck. Like I don't get it. How hot is it actually right now? It's currently 6:38 p.m. Let's refresh this. As of right now, it is 81 degrees where I'm at. However, when I got home today, my room was actually 90 degrees according to my AC. It's supposed to cool off by 8 p.m., give or take. We'll see about that. We will see about that. Alright, let's continue with the Ace Attorney. I want to get through as much of this as possible because we're behind with regards to finishing this game. I wanted to finish it so much sooner. Hell, we should have finished Case 4 last week, but we didn't. Anyway, let's go on. You know, the boss was acting a bit strange recently. Like he was always in a rush. Best chips in town for talking with Gina after Ryunosuke gains consciousness. Oh, right. Yeah, okay. There's a lot more extra stuff to examine, apparently. If it turns out that Gregson didn't actually die in here at all, where on earth could he have been killed? That's a question for the ages. Well, one way or another, we must find out for the inspector's sake. You know, you look awfully pale again today, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry, when I start thinking it all through, I conjure up some horrible images in my mind. Your imagination is the culprit here, then. Most certainly guilty. It's true, though. I didn't think I was gonna get an achievement for talking to Gina, but hey, here we are. Okay, so, we have nothing else to do inside this room. Too fucking bad, then. Where do we go now? This place is thick with dust, isn't it? Such a chill. Feels strange connecting with the place, knowing where my father started all those years. Kazuma-sama, prosecutor, never imagined it. Feels somewhere cooler down here, don't it? Old attic, have some tea and relax for a little while. Well, it says relax for a little while, so why don't we? Aha! It is a continuation of the story. What? What is going on? What on earth is going on in here? Am I having a bad dream? Ah, no, it's an old German folk song. Rather a fine rendition, I think. That's the least of my concerns. What about the man who's apparently knocked the fuck out? Iris? And now you turn away? Iris, what's the matter? What? Who is that sprawling, that relaxed gentleman over there, please? Iris? Is she even listening? Excuse me, sir. I do apologize for troubling you whilst you're singing so merrily, but would you be so kind enough to explain the situation? Well, that worked. And by that worked, nothing happened. A crooning gentleman and a mute young girl, a rather tantalizing juxtaposition. And one that appears to have incited the gods of deduction for me to find their voices too. Wait, no, please don't make me do another one of these. The strains of reasoning within me are playing now as a delightful duet. One melody sings of a reunion full of nostalgia, whilst the other is a more morose theme about the great secret you're trying so desperately to conceal, Iris. She's turned as white as a sheet, but she's already white as a sheet. So, as usual, you've instantly seen to the very heart of the matter. And by the time my own brief performance is over, I feel sure this gentleman's song will reach its finality. But these things are not brief, they're very long. So then, to Music Land, where all is sweetness and delicacy and harmony. Pray, do enjoy Herlock Sholmes' latest. I don't wanna. I'm about to push the autoplay button on that one. Man's identity. It's probably Mikotoba, because who can mistake that mustache? Firstly, we consider the gentleman's nationality. Clearly, he's a German with no grasp of the English language. Oh, please. As evidenced by the Germanic song he sings and his apparent inability to understand when asked to desist. So, why is the man here at all and in such apparently high spirits? The best tea he's ever had? The answer, of course, Iris, is clearly known to you. The tea! Indeed, we need only follow the gaze of those bright young eyes to unravel that particular part of this mystery. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the herbal tea. That is an interesting expression, Iris. You obviously offered our German guest a cup of your latest herbal blend. The tea's delectable flavor has made the man's spirits soar, and resulted in this joyful ditty tumbling incessantly from his lips. I eagerly await sampling the flavor myself, that I may join the fellow in this state of elation. Now, to the next question. What the hell is happening? Oh god, I really want to push story mode. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of the settee? Iris, we could have avoided this entire logic and reasoning if you just actually, like, talked. As it happens, a number of years ago now, a certain gentleman of German origin engaged my services in solving a particularly delicate case. He required the retrieval of letters once sent to an acquaintance that might have proved problematic. In order to conceal his noble identity, he also arrived at my office in a mask. The gentleman's name was Wilhelm Gottschalk Sigismund von Ormstein. Oh god, not this fucking kid again. The King of Germany. No. If my memory serves, the mask worn by this gentleman is identical. Yeah, sure, it's the same, but that's not him. Yes, there can be no question the mask belongs to the King of Germany. Does Germany even have a king? Did Germany ever have a king back then? In the late 1800s? It would appear that His Majesty remembers the fine service I afforded him, and has decided to show his face again, mask and all, in order to express his gratitude. Now, a well-mannered monarch indeed, wouldn't you agree, my dear fellow? What are you hiding in your mouth, Iris? She's hiding something in her mouth. So the identity of this masked visitor is in fact my former client, the King of Germany. No! Indeed, his son is currently in London as well, enjoying the wonders of the Great Exhibition. No! Ha! Water. The girl's silence, which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Yes, you, young Iris. But your apparently inexplicable silence is unable to hide the truth. Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that knapsack. A 5-pound note, I believe. I must say, as your compatriot, I'm deeply saddened. It would appear that you've allowed yourself to be bribed into silence by His Royal Highness, earning yourself some spending money in exchange for keeping quiet about the king's secret. Nah. And now the final piece of the puzzle. What is this secret you strive to hide with your silence, Iris? Ah, yes, we need only follow that brief, involuntary twitch of your eyes to find the answer. You were attempting to abscond with that coffee cup. What? My favorite coffee cup, in fact. Or should I say, the handle of my favorite coffee cup. It appears that his high-spirited highness broke it in the midst of his hijinks. Nah. Which leads us to the sad truth. You lost a coffee cup? My favorite coffee cup has been broken by the King of Germany, and Iris, you tried to conceal it from me. I shall have a bill sent via governmental channels to the German royal family for its replacement. Can't you fix it? Charles, you could fix it. I'm sure you could. The coffee cup. My god. Thus concludes Herlock Sholmes' great deduction of this painful puzzle. Why do we go through this crap? I don't like the logic deductions now. With your silence as well, the fellow's jovial warbling rather rings in the ears, does it not? Mr. Sholmes, I must say something does rather trouble me. Pray, Miss Susanna, do tell. His Royal Highness doesn't appear to have moved a muscle since we arrived. Ah, and you haven't said a word either, Iris. She's still avoiding us. If Mr. Sholmes has it all right, you may as well own up to it now. Your reasoning isn't entirely without substance, I must admit. And one other thing, Mr. Sholmes. Yet another grievance, Mr. Narhodl? Surely not. Well, I actually read the story of that case recently, the one you were just describing. And according to that, at least, it wasn't the King of Germany, it was the King of Bohemia? Goodness, was it? Yes, that's quite true. Master Gott, the prince, testified to that in court. In his words, I have come to see the great exhibition all the way from my home in Bohemia. So, what do you got to say about that, Sholmes? I would ask you to keep that minor error to yourselves. It could easily become quite a scandal. I believe, Mr. Narhodl, that it's our turn now to make some corrections to the number of minor errors that may have slipped in. Yes, even Mr. Sholmes is willing to admit he might be slightly wide of the mark this time. Finally. Although it's clear that Iris is definitely hiding something in her mouth. We need to find the truth behind this mysterious scene. But one truth is incontrovertible. How do you actually pronounce that word? That word has popped up like 7 or 8 times in this entire, game so far. My favorite coffee cup is no more. So, shall we embark again on a joint presentation of Herlock Sholmes' logic and reasoning spectacular? No. Really, no. Course correction! Hold it, Mr. Sholmes! Oh! Dude, I have a hard time hearing what's happening in the game. Maybe I should raise the volume here. There we go. This might blow my ears out, but it's fine. Firstly, reconsider the gentleman's nationality. German, no. Now I hear the Germanic song they're saying. So, why is the man here at all? The answer, of course, is clearly known to you, Iris. It's gotta do with something. It's not that cup. So what? It's some mix of herbs that gives you the urge to sing? Goodness, I should like to try some. And I'd like to hear your singing, but this man, just how long does he intend to keep up with that tune, do you suppose? As I said, he's been stock still the entire time, and if you look closely, his lips aren't moving either. Ah, so I'm not sure that's what's actually responsible for the spirited singing. Well, come on, not that hard to guess at this point, is it? But I suspect the answer lies at the end of Iris's gaze. That. Wait, this is a gramophone, still rarely seen in our own country. The sound certainly appears to be coming from the horn. But machines singing? That can't be right. Oh god, Ryu. Science and technology are changing the world rapidly, Mr. Naruhodo. What's right is changing too. Ugh, it's too much for my brain. Well, at least we found our answer. Unfortunately. The reason for the man's mildly irritating warbling is revealed by the gramophone. Indeed, for no well-bred gentleman would break into an obscure folk song when making a social call. In other words, this gentleman isn't singing at all. In fact, he's passed the fuck out. It would appear that the fellow is unconscious. Yeah, that's... Ah, the music seems to have stopped now. Good. I ask you, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, why would I have purchased a recording of that gibberish? How should I know? Well, never mind. On with the deduction. Who exactly is this gentleman availing himself so thoroughly of the settee? I mean, it's obviously Mikotoba. Like I said, that mustache is so hard to deny. Yeah, no, that's not the story, dude. No, stop it. Stop with that story. It's not it's not true. No, 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 no. It's not Wilhelm. That ridiculously long name. You know the Iris is hiding something in her mouth, though. Although we've already established that it was actually the King of Bohemia, it seems Mr. Sholmes intends to persist with this Germany theory for some reason. Come to think of it, young Prince was wearing a mask as well, wasn't he? Master Gotts? The boy whom you had in tears? Don't remind me, or anyone else. I didn't even remember that. Do you suppose all members of the aristocracy of mainland Europe wear masks? Oh yeah, they did. I'm sure they do. Well, probably anyway. The point is, that mask doesn't belong to any king. Hi, Bomb! Hi, Bomb! Hi, Bomb! Bomb! Javelin! No, that's right, as we well know. Because we can identify the true owner of this mask. What? Can we? I don't even remember, man. And I don't even have Mr. Gotts in here. But technically it is Kazuma's mask. Yes, there can be no question that mask belongs to Kazuma Osoki. In other words, my memory is sublimely unreliable. That's no fucking surprise there. Only you could try to make that sound positive. Kazuma's mask had been languishing on his metal chest for several days. Now, that doesn't explain why the gentleman is wearing it now. But it is now a simple matter to determine our guest's true identity. Just take the mask off. After all, the gentleman is unconscious. We need only excuse ourselves in advance, gently lift the mask, and peer beneath it. What's up, Toba? I don't believe it. I do. Faja! Father! I'm afraid, Miss Suzato, you must be mistaken. No, I think not, Mr. Sholmes. Then it would appear our logic and reasoning has once again revealed the truth. Really? Mr. Sholmes tried to deny it? Come on, you've met... Wait, has he met the man? This mysterious visitor is my unconscious father, Eugen Mikotoba. Logic and reasoning, or just looking and saying? Thank you for that one, Ryu. That one was perfect. As much as I don't like the logic and reasoning sometimes, they... Drop my fucking controller. They are pretty funny. Which leaves us with one remaining imponderable. Miss Iris hiding something in her mouth. Clearly. What are you hiding in your mouth anyway? What did you eat? So that's a 5-pound note poking out of Iris's knapsack, is it? Oh dear, I can't be sure. Most money that we encounter is in coin form. I know, I'm not even sure if we've seen any banknotes here in Britain at all, have we? But anyway, Father would have paid money for Iris's silence. He certainly seems like the silent type himself, though, judging by his present state. There must be some other reason for Iris's silence, I suppose. Perhaps what Iris is trying so hard not to give away with her eyes is something entirely different. Why do I care about a Persian slipper? Wait, is there something in here? Wait, how long is that thing being unlocked for? This metal chest? It contains important documents, doesn't it? Yes, details of all the cases Mr. Shom has worked on over the years. Written up by Iris's father, if I'm remembering correctly. Iris insists that the chest is kept locked at all times. She's never once shown me inside. Yeah, and I just noticed it's open. Well, its contents are invaluable to her, I suppose, and entirely irreplaceable. But look at it now. The catch is unlocked for once. Ah, so it is! That's hard to ignore. Harry. I've never seen that chest unlocked before, and all the time we've been staying here at Baker Street. Well, there's no other reason to not look at it, but also, I guess, cool knapsack, but it's gotta be the metal chest. Metal chest! Yes, the reason for your muteness is concealed inside that metal chest. An excellent observation, for upon closer inspection, there is something different about the chest appearance. It's kept locked at all times, yet now the catch is open. Evidently, this has something to do with your refusal to speak, Iris. Meh. But it's simple enough. But it's a simple enough matter to incite you to speak, I'm sure. I merely need to open this chest. Here we go. No, Hurley, don't! Oh! What the fuck? Mr. Shomes! Mr. Shomes, Hurley! Oh, and he's out. Why is there a fucking punching fist in there? Boxing glove, sorry. He's dead. Never! Oh, Hurley. I told you not to open it. Ah, so you found your voice now, Iris. In other words, what just happened clearly reveals the truth here. Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is... This is somewhat different to the usual dance of deduction you perform with Mr. Stone, isn't it? It is a bit different, yeah. Wow, he's left me alone on the ballroom floor, so I'm gonna have to dance this next part solo. And anyway, I need to get to the bottom of this, for my own peace of mind. Now then, Iris isn't usually the silent type, so... You mean you don't actually know the answer yet, despite that knowing point of the finger before? Miss Susato, sometimes a man needs to point his finger first and think later. Maybe? Oh, well, if you say so. I think we'd better examine Iris more closely and try to rescue the situation then. Ain't rescuing anything. The real reason for the silence. What do you do with that key, girl?
Take that!
Key! Yes, the real reason for your silence until now is that key behind your back. When Mr. Shomes was thrown into the air before... Just before you called out to try to stop him, you slipped something out of your mouth. Oh, so that was right. She did have something in her mouth then. I thought I was going to have to throw that entire theory out the window. That something is the key now in your hands. No doubt the key to the chest. You're so clever, Runo. So now it becomes clear. Thanks to Mr. Shum's graphic demonstration, we can well imagine what happened here. But... Professor Mikotoba also opened that metal chest only to be punched into the air. And land sprawled on the settee. But wait, that doesn't explain all the facts. What about the stylish scarf and the cup of tea? And above all, why would he be wearing Kazuma-sama's mask? Well, for those curious details, I could think of only one explanation. Clearly, an unbelievable miracle took place in this room. Isn't that right, Iris? Consider how the room was arranged before this whole painful experience took place. When Professor Mikotoba opened the chest, completely unaware of what awaited him inside, the mask was flung into the air just as he was, only to land neatly on his face when it fell back down. And the teacup's journey through the air ended when it caught the unconscious professor's finger. That's really pushing it, Ryu. You mean to say that stylish scarf is actually just a tablecloth? This is the great detective's office, after all, place of miraculous deductions. She just gets into it too. Would you expect anything less? Yes, you're right. It happened exactly as you said. How? Brilliant, Reno! Thus concludes Ryunosuke's Ryunosuke's great deduction of this punchy puzzle. Punchy puzzle? So then, why don't I make us a fresh pot of why don't I make a fresh pot of tea for all of us? Hey, what? An admirable performance, Mr. Naruhodo. But in the final act of the show there, you rather missed everything of importance. How did you wake up so quickly? If you would cast your mind back to my earlier deduction... Iris, clearly you're hiding a great secret. She is? From the look on her face. Mr. Sholmes must be right. Whatever that great secret is, the cat isn't out of the bag yet. So I put it to you again. You were attempting to abscond with that coffee cup. Coffee cup? Still? It really is a shame about Mr. Sholmes' cup. It must have been smashed when Professor Mikotoba opened the chest. Oh dear, so many things seem to have been broken here. But now that the deduction has taken a different direction, Iris doesn't seem to be trying to hide the broken cup anymore. In other words, her great secret is something else. Let's put our observational skills to work here one final time. Wait, what am I even looking for at the... What the... Well, I can't poke at that, so that can't be... What am I looking for over here? I can only look at Iris. And I'm like, what am I looking at Iris for? Wait, is there actually something in this knapsack? Surely this time, at last, the knapsack is going to be the answer. I'm really not sure why you're so intent on showing Iris' bag to be complicit in these events. Because it's a sizable bag, big enough to carry things around, Mr. Naruhodo. That's what bags are for. So the knapsack might never see the limelight, you mean? I really wouldn't like to say. What am I actually looking for besides that broken coffee cup that's sitting right there on the fucking floor that I can't seem to poke at? Mikotoba? What? Whoa, wait, what was that? Case file? Ah, look! There seem to be more papers there. Is Iris trying to hide them underneath the tray? The insignia, Mr. Naruhodo! It's an official Scotland Yard document. What? But why would Iris have... You must ask her. An official Scotland Yard document. What are you doing with that? Also, where did you get that? How did you get that? You were attempting to abscond with that case file. Iris, as you know very well, nothing escapes the attention of a great detective. Oh no. Oh no! We visited Scotland Yard's autopsy lab earlier today, and Dr. Gorey informed us that the autopsy report of Clint Van Zeeks had gone missing. I forgot about that already. Clint Van Zeeks, yes, I do seem to recall that some years ago I asked to see the report in question. You were with me, weren't you, Iris? You mean it was you, Iris? So those papers you have there are... I'm sorry. Forgive me! Great job, Ryu. You made another little girl... You made another child cry. Fucking proud of yourself. Deduction complete. Elementary. That was a really weird logic and deduction reasoning thing. Whatever it's called. In truth, I would like to have thought I could have predicted the booby-trapped chest. But it caught me completely off guard. I was very nearly the late consulting detective, Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I'm sorry, Hurley. So you mean this autopsy report really is? Yes, I took it from the lab, even though I knew it was very important. How? When? Why? Was there something in it that troubled you, Iris? Not exactly something that troubled me. Something I'd been looking for. When I saw this report, and when I saw the writing in it, I knew it was Daddy's. Uh-oh. The writing? Your father's writing? What do you really mean? Iris? It must be something that's hard for her to talk about. Forgive me for the interrupting, my dear fellows. Mr. Sholmes, what is it, sir? I feel as though the poor unconscious gentleman on the settee has been somewhat forgotten. Father! Perhaps we should find our guest somewhere more peaceful to rest? Mr. Naruto, yes? Would you be so kind as to lend him your bed? We must do our very best to make him comfortable, I feel it. Oh, yes, of course. I hope you carry him up. So will I. No, I can manage alone, thank you. You have tea to enjoy. You wouldn't want Iris's brew to stew. And both are gone. Because there's no better way to make the professor comfortable than dragging them upstairs like a trunk. It's true, though. It's the best way to do it, because he's not going to feel the damn thing. I wonder, perhaps that was deliberate. Maybe Mr. Sholmes is making himself scarce to give Iris a chance to talk more freely. We must use this opportunity to talk with Iris. And find out what's going on. Yeah, because that's... What the hell, man? Would you like to tell us about it, Iris? About your father? I'm sure I told you before, didn't I? That Daddy used to be Hurley's partner? Yes, and that notes about all the cases they solved together are kept inside that metal chest. That's right. Hurley told me, you see. He said that Daddy's somewhere far away now, so we can't meet. That's one way of describing it, yep. Then, when I secretly unlocked the chest and read through the papers inside, I started to build up a picture in my head of what Daddy must be like. Well, that's only natural. You're just like any other girl of your age. I read that Daddy was a professor of medical science, so I studied and took my degree too. Well, that's only natural, I suppose. Is that? Is it though? In that respect, you're not quite like any other girl of your age, though. But there was one thing that I could never find out. Daddy's name. Ah, his name wasn't anywhere in any of the notes that he'd made about his work with Hurley. Wait, what? But then one day... That's what happened, is it? When you saw this autopsy report, you finally managed to work it out. Is that right? Yes. So it was the handwriting in the report that caught her eye. So wait, you still don't know the name? When I saw the writing on that report, I could hardly believe it. I know that handwriting, I thought to myself. Because it was the same as the writing you'd seen on your father's case notes? Exactly. I was desperate to compare the two properly. I needed to see them side by side. I asked the doctor in the lab, but I was told I couldn't take the report away. And even worse, I was told that was the first and last time we'd even be allowed to look at it there. So you decided to steal it. When I compared the autopsy report with the case notes I had here, there was no doubt. The handwriting was exactly the same. It was Daddy's. And the signature of the coroner at the bottom of the autopsy report reads Dr. John H. Wilson. So that's how I finally found out. I learned Daddy's name at last, but I see. Ever since then, I've called myself Iris Wilson. And that's also when I had the brilliant idea of writing stories all about Daddy's exciting times with Hurley. I decided there and then that I'd write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Oh, Iris, I had no idea that the stories had quite such a deep personal significance for you. Yeah, neither did I. I can see why the autopsy report was so important to her now. And why she was prepared to break the law to get her hands on it. Damn. I must apologize, Iris. Oh? Sholmes, huh? This is really all my fault. Hurley? I made a promise, you see, that until the time was right, I'd keep the details about your father a secret. I know. I've been very naughty. I'll take the autopsy report back to Dr. Gory and apologize, I promise. Yes, we'll go together, I think. Then, let me look after it for you until we get there. Autopsy report of the final victim of the infamous professor. The report was authored by Dr. John H. Wilson. Jeez, you never expect to read that, huh? Hold on just a minute on that, though. Victim Clint Van Zeeks, age 33, nationality British. What? Time of death 31st of May between 9 p.m. and midnight. That's a little bit sus. British? Observation. Oh, wait, no, that makes sense. Sorry, my brain is misfiring on that one. Death from a single stab wound to the heart, other superficial external wounds indicative of a duel. Additional notes: recent scarlet ink stains visible on the little and ring fingers on the right hand, but no document and corresponding ink was found. Autopsy findings: vital evidence recovered from the victim's stomach during autopsy. Credit to Inspector Gregson for petitioning so doggedly for the autopsy procedure. No internal trauma noted anywhere in the body. John H. Wilson. Okay. Okay, then. I must go and water my herbs, I think. I'll see you all later. Poor Iris. She must be feeling awful. I know Mr. Sholmes is here for her, but still. Oh? What's the matter, Susato? What? How? What's the meaning of this, Mr. Sholmes? Mr. Sholmes? Oh, dear me. Wait, what? Huh. Wait, what are you pointing at? What are you pointing out at? So, you've noticed, I see. But that would mean... What on earth's the matter, Miss Susato? You've turned as white as a sheet. It's this autopsy report, Mr. Naruhodo. The one from 10 years ago. The writing isn't Dr. Wilson's at all. Huh? What do you mean? How could you possibly know that? Because I know this writing very well. This writing is my father. What? How? What? Indeed, it's true. And now you know, my dear fellows. No, I don't know anything. What on earth does all this mean, Mr. Sholmes? Because the idea that's slowly forming in my head is just too extraordinary to believe. Please, you have to explain. Oh, great, we're gonna get more I'm confused. I've lost it. So, this autopsy report is actually penned by Professor Mikotoba, then? But that makes no sense. It's not possible, surely. Not possible, my dear fellow. Pray, take a deep breath and think again. Yes, you're right. In some ways, it actually makes a great deal of sense. I don't see it. It does? 10 years ago is when Father returned to Japan after his extended study tour in Britain. And prior to his return, where was Dr. Mikotoba engaged? Ah, of course! He was an assistant in Dr. Wilson's lab, learning about forensic science. And as an assistant, he would have aided with the dissection work, making detailed notes, which would be assembled into the full autopsy report. Once the work was complete, the head coroner would check the contents and put his signature on the document. In other words, the only writing of Dr. Wilson's in the report would be his signature at the end. I see. So Iris got the wrong end of the stick, you mean? Wait, now that's even more confusing. So wait. Yeah, no, what? She saw that and assumed the whole report had been written by Dr. John H. Wilson. Which is very understandable, of course. What a complicated situation. Yeah, no shit. It's signed by John H. Wilson, though Professor Mikotoba actually penned the report. So then, partner? Thinking about it, most of what we know about you, Mr. Sholmes, comes from the published stories of your exploits. Yes, The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, written by Iris. And we really have no way of knowing what's fact and what's fiction. Most troubling for you, my dear fellow, I'm sure. So what about this supposed partner of yours? Did he really exist or not? Ah, you've come straight to the point, I see. Well, yeah. And please come straight to the answer. I believe Iris explained in one of her installments. He was a trusted comrade and the only person I could truly have called a friend. And did this partner of yours truly make a record of all your cases? Are his notes really stored inside that metal chest? Absolutely, my dear madam. Absolutely. So, where's your partner now? We rarely meet. You see, he lives on the other side of the world. Huh? But if this autopsy report and the records of all your old cases were penned by the same hand, and if the autopsy report was written, though not signed, by your famous partner, there would be only one logical conclusion. Mikotoba? Pray, impress me. Your partner would have to be Yujin Mikotoba. In other words, Miss Susato's father. Upon my word, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes? You are coming along wonderfully. You have hit upon the method at last. You finally grasped the art of deduction. You mean to say... Allow me to introduce you. to my great friend and partner, Mikotoba. Huh? But then what about Wilson? Professor Mikotoba? What? Does this mean that you're the real Dr. Wilson? No, my dear. I'm still my old self, Eugene Mikotoba, your father. Oh, of course. This is obviously too much for Susato-san to take in. It's too much for me to take in. What the fuck? I must say, though, how my old friend has attained worldwide celebrity as a great mystery solver is the greatest mystery of all. I still remember the first time we met. Ah, pray remind me. When was it again, Mikotoba? 16 years ago, Sholmes. Ah, yes, quite. 16 years ago. I had just arrived from Japan with Shishiro and Genshin. I was in search of lodgings close to the hospital, some comfortable rooms at a reasonable price. But rents are devilishly high in that particular area. That's right, so I decided I needed someone to share lodgings and the expense, and was fortunate enough to be introduced to Sholmes, who found himself in a similar situation. I was a callow fellow back then, a mere shadow of the great detective you see before you now. I was working at the hospital's chemical lab at the time, indulging my curiosities for little gain. And the situation of our cohabitation led to us pursuing cases together, you see. Hard to believe. It was a mere 6 years. We had a great many adventures. What the hell, man? But in the last year of Mikotoba's stay in Britain, that most infamous of cases presented itself. A case with which you've become rather familiar with yourselves, the Professor killings. After the trial, Shishiro and I were summoned back home. Hardly surprising, given the circumstances. So there you have it. And as you know, all the details are recorded by my trusty chronicler remain in that metal chest. This is just amazing! Professor Mikotoba really is Mr. Sholmes' famous partner. I can't believe that right now. What about Dr. John H. Wilson, then? What the hell? What's this story, then? Father? Goodness, my dear, what a cutting look! As your daughter, I'm very proud to learn that you were the great detective's great partner. But nevertheless, there's another mystery that I really must ask you to explain now. And that is... You know very well what it is. The unresolved matter of Iris's father. Ah, of course. I'd almost forgotten about that. How do you forget about that one? Dumbass. I should have seen this coming, I suppose. So then... What? Iris told us that all the notes about the great detective's adventures are in that metal chest were written by her father. Isn't that correct, Mr. Sholmes? That is indeed what I told young Iris. But if you're Mr. Sholmes' partner, father, and you wrote all of those case notes, then Iris's father must be you! Yeah, that'd be logical, but... Upon my word, Miss Susato. You are coming along wonderfully as well. You too have hit upon the method at last. What? You finally grasped the art of deduction. What? What you've always told me, father, is that my mother died when I was born 16 years ago, and you left me in grandmother's care whilst you embarked on your study tour of Britain. And I've always accepted that. But, all of this about Iris? Oh, there it is, Susato-san's ice-cold stare. No, now hold on a minute. It was very complicated. I mean, it's really not what you think. Then what is it? Then perhaps you'd like to explain exactly what it is. She's about to flip the fuck out of Mikotoba. There it is. Now the eyes go from ice cold to red hot. Just before she... No, really! You've got the wrong end of the stick. Sholmes, say something, man! Flip him. Flip this fucker. That's quite enough, my fiery fellows. Mr. Sholmes, when did he get all dressed up? Dude, don't be surprised. Whilst I don't like to interrupt this exciting exploration of the past, Mikotoba and I have an urgent matter that requires a short excursion. But it's very late, Mr. Sholmes. Where must you go? Why, my dear madam, is that not obvious? My partner and I must pursue our natural enemies. No, get your coat, Mikotoba. The game is afoot. But Sholmes, I really must give Suzato a full explanation, I think. Later, my dear fellow, later. Our carriage awaits downstairs already. What the fuck? You haven't changed one iota, have you? I mean, really. I visit our home after 10 long years, and when I open that chest in a fit of nostalgia, I quite inexplicably pass out. I mean, you were knocked unconscious. And as if that wasn't enough, when I eventually regain consciousness, I'm plunged straight into all of this. Father, please. Go with Mr. Sholmes now. What? I have no doubt that whatever happened, you were acting in everyone's best interests. I trust you, completely. Man, you're very trusting. Suzato. And sending the great detective and his great partner off on renewed adventures together is more than I could have hoped for in my wildest dreams. I mean, she's not wrong there. Very well then, we'll speak again later. So, I believe your own work is done for the day. I wish you the best of luck for tomorrow. Yes, Naruhodo, good luck in battle, and in reaching a decision. A decision about whether to go back to Japan, I suppose? No, don't do it, Ryu. Don't do it. Never do it. Don't go back to Japan, man.
So much happened that day that I barely knew what to do with myself. It would only be later that I'd come to realize how amidst the chaos I'd unleashed were all the clues I needed to finally unearth the truth, and that all the turmoil was necessary to give me the resolve to see everything through.
I like this rendition of the theme I'm hearing right now. Dude, I am burning up right now so bad. It's so hot. Like, my room is just feeling like an inferno, and I have the AC on, but it's like, it keeps on hovering between fan and not fan. It's so frustrating. Wait, that just ends the chapter right there? What the fuck? That's not what I expected to have happen. Okay, I guess we're... Wait, really? Is that really how this is gonna go? So Case 4 just kind of ends there, huh? I guess so. Okay. That's interesting. Final chapter. The Resolve of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I swear someone... I was watching Rene play through a bit of Ace Attorney, and she pronounced the name differently a little bit. It was like... Rena... Ugh. I have to listen to her again, because I only watched it for a little tiny bit. So, the time's finally come. Today, we unravel everything. I'll be counting on your support more than ever today, Miss Suzato. Yeah, but she's out of it, dude. Miss Suzato? Ah! Why? Oh no! What's the matter, Mr. Naruhodo? Nothing. I was just saying that I'll be relying on your support today, but... I'm so sorry, of course. I know I can be rather incompetent in times, but... I shan't let you down. Did you have to flip me, though? Would you mind helping me to my feet, then? Oh dear, I'm really very sorry. So, Her fight and flight response is to flip you. Susanoo-san isn't her usual self at all. But that's hardly surprising, I suppose. She just found out that her father is the partner of her world-famous detective. Not to mention... good morning, sir! Hey. What's up, man? Lord Van Zeeks! Thank you for all your efforts yesterday. What? Did I hear that correctly? What? Oh, no, nothing. Just... I hope we can clear things up today. I really can't make this man out. His face says, I hate you, but his words are almost jovial today. In fact, he hasn't been very Reaper-like at all since this all began yesterday. Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper, Mr. Naruhodo. Good point. The Reaper? I suppose in hindsight, I shouldn't have allowed that misconception to go unchallenged. Huh? It was my tacit acceptance of that pseudonym. My failure to stop the Reaper becoming something more than a mere legend that led to all this. But you're not to blame for that, Lord Van Zeeks. It's only because serious crime in the capital dropped off so sharply when the public started calling you that. Final chapter time. Yeah, final chapter time. Hi, Zoe. Random ass meow. That's why you didn't say anything, isn't it? Well, I don't know where that yawn came from. I think it's the heat. To be frank, I'm not sure that was the sole reason. What do you mean? There was a rumor at the time that the Reaper was really the ghost of my late brother. That having been slain by that evil killer, Clint's restless spirit returned as some sort of demigod, to wield a deadly blade of justice where I, by dint of the law, could not. Yes, we've heard that story too. When I lost him, I felt as though I'd lost my guiding light. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And so, in some small way, I wonder if perhaps those rumors made me feel his absence a little less keenly. I don't know what to tell you, man. Even if I knew it was just an illusion, just some nonsense conjured up by an over-imaginative public, he was obviously extremely important to you. Lord Clint Van Zeeks. Well, what's important now is uncovering the truth. That's all that matters. I know that you didn't take anyone's life. And I intend to prove that beyond a shadow of a doubt in court today. Yeah, but... Oh, Jesus, I still have everything in here. Oh boy, that's a first. I never thought I'd see a chapter start with all your evidence to be from the chapter before. I never thought I'd say this, but I can see it in your eyes, that burning desire to cut through all the lies and deception. I can't deny it any longer. You are a lawyer of absolute integrity. Thank you, sir. Now tell me, why do I detect the scent of expensive tea leaves in the air? Oh, hi, Iris. Oh, Iris, when did you get here? Oh. I brought you one of my special blends. Harley loves it. He says it helps him clear his head. I thank you. Oh. That's surely the first and last time I'll ever see a sight like this. You seem different today, Iris. Oh? Sort of subdued, I suppose. I am not. What happened yesterday is obviously still playing on her mind a lot. She's clearly very troubled about having stolen that autopsy report from Dr. Sif's lab. But thank you for stealing it anyway. Alright then, good luck to you both. I have to make a move now. Oh, you're not staying? I thought you'd want to watch today's proceedings. Well, I'd like to cheer you on, obviously. But I've got lots to get ready. Get ready? For what? Oh, yes. Would you take this? Isn't that one of the little felt dolls that's usually dangling from your knapsack? Yes, it's a Lucky Charm, a little Hurley that I made. What? Hurley is a rabbit? A Hurley? It looks more like a Hairley to me. Ha! Shut up. If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can. What? Pull his ears? That's right, it's a way to bring good luck. Think you might need it. A little doll of Mr. Sholmes in hair form. I've been told to tug its ears if I run out of options in the trial today. Can I, like, pull on it now? You think what we'll need is luck? What a charming little rabbity version of Mr. Sholmes. Do you suppose this is how Iris sees him? Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Your eyes are veritably boring into the poor doll's ears. Oh, sorry, I was just wondering. What do you suppose would happen if I were to tug its ears with all my might right now? I'm sure that we'll find out when the time is right. To become a proper gentleman, you must really learn stoic patience. But I want to know! I want to know now! Oh, so this is actually pretty damn cute. Well, what's with the eyes? What's up with the eyes, Bomb? What are those eyes? Eyes. I just sneaked a peek inside the courtroom, and it seemed very different to normal. Yes, it would seem that a certain someone has decided to pull out all the stops. What does that mean? I'm worried about this. Also, my lips are chapped! What about Mr. Sholmes, Iris? I don't know. He was out all night and had to come home by the time I left this morning. The fuck? Oh, I see. Was Professor Mikotobo out all night too, do you think, Miss Susato? Yes, it would seem so. I telegrammed the hotel this morning. And apparently they didn't come back to their rooms last night at all. They? Father and Judge Jigoku, I mean. Huh? Judge Jigoku too? That's right, nobody appears to have seen either of them since yesterday. Well, that's messed up. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Please make your way inside the courtroom at once. Why does everything always happen as soon as we start getting into another interesting topic? Good luck then, Reno. Good luck, Susie. Yes, thanks, Iris. And you, Mr. Reaper. I hope it goes well. Once again, I thank you for the delicious tea. It was very soothing. Oh, I'm so glad. Must go inside now, Lord Van Zeeks. Lord Van Zeeks has always been the formidable prosecutor I've had to lock horns with in court. But not today. Today I battle with another in pursuit of the truth. My best friend, Kazuma Asogi, who I trust more than anyone else in the world. Now I understand what it was that drew me here to Britain all those months ago. Now I know exactly what destiny had in store for me. Dual destiny? It's all been leading up to this one day, to this one trial, to this one final reckoning. Okay, Warhammer. So, how long is Case 5? I mean, not Case 5. Episode 5. Final trial, good luck. It feels even more oppressive here than it did yesterday. There are cold stares piercing me like knives from all sides today. Ah! Mr. Naruhodo, look! I'm pissed. I'm pissed. I'm very pissed. Why is he here? Of all the fucking Don't you dare do it to me, game. Don't you dare fucking do it to me. Lord Strongheart? He's the judge now? God fucking damn it. Cosmo must have known beforehand. The ramifications of this trial now extend far beyond the murder of one Scotland Yard inspector. In fact, events have come to light that threaten to rock the very foundation of our country's legal system. The escape of a condemned criminal on the night of his execution, the subsequent unlawful shooting of the man, and the revelation that prison staff must have been complicit in the jailbreak. Have fun! I'm pissed that Strongheart is the judge. I'm pissed. Britain is currently hosting influential members of the judiciary from countries all around the world. It is imperative that we uncover the truth in these proceedings to avoid international embarrassment. By royal decree, this will continue to be a closed trial. Oh god, he even stands. And one over which I, male Strongheart, exercise total and unequivocal authority. Huh? The 6 juror flames just... As was the case in yesterday's proceedings, those here and present in the public gallery are distinguished members of the judiciary, assembled to bear witness to a fair judicial process. In other words, a collection of your acolytes, Lord Strongheart. Oof. On a personal note, I find this most distressing, Lord Van Zeeks. You were a prosecutor of exceptional talent. Much like your brother Clint, in fact. What? Okay, so that's his gavel. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. What the cat doing? The cat is currently on the floor right now, trying to pick up her toy and meowing at me. What, is it stuck, really? Oh man, okay. For the trial of Barak Van Zeeks, who officially stands accused of murder. And why does Strongheart have to have such a presence? Counsels for the prosecution and defense, are you in full readiness to proceed? The defense is ready, my lord. As is the prosecution. Yesterday's proceedings brought to light a shocking and disturbing fact. There was a side of the victim, Inspector Tobias Gregson, that was unknown to his superiors at Scotland Yard. It's a really good final theme, though. Yes, he was carrying out operations in secret, which Scotland Yard knew nothing about. And in those clandestine operations, he had an accomplice. Mr. Dally Vigil, who would be given the inspector's identification and present himself around the capital in order to establish credible alibis for Gregson. In that way, Gregson appeared to be carrying out his regular Scotland Yard work, when in fact he wasn't. At the end of yesterday's session, Mr. Vigil, who had been suffering from amnesia, regained his memory. It would appear he buried his memories of the time deep inside himself as a means of self-preservation. Because whilst he was engaged as chief warder at Barclay Prison, he abetted the convict's escape. Mr. Vigil is currently recuperating at St. Signers. He's recovered enough to give a signed statement about his movements on the day prior to the incident. You good there, Zoe? I'm gonna assume that's a yes. He's formally admitted to posing as Gregson whilst investigating the Red-Headed League. Which brings us to the crucial issue of the victim's time of death. The defense yesterday proposed a suggestion that the victim may have been killed 1 day earlier. This was based largely on the discovery that the victim's pocket watch had not been wound. The prosecution has something to report on that subject, my lord. Really? Go ahead, Prosecutor Asogi. I met once again with the coroner yesterday to discuss the issue. She confirmed that the defense's suggestion could not be ruled out. It's entirely possible that Inspector Gregson was killed on 31st October, the day before his body was discovered. I have here an updated autopsy report that includes the amended details. But the official opinion of the investigation team was made clear yesterday, that the time of death was 5 p.m. on 1st November. Do not do this to me. There are indications of an attempt to disguise the real time of death, however. It seems that the natural decaying process of the victim's body may have been slowed by keeping it chilled. That's out of the question. Updated autopsy report? Oh god, we're back to case, what is it, case 2 all over, wait, was it case 2? It was one of the cases, I don't remember which one though. There are no refrigeration devices in that part of London large enough to accommodate a human corpse. My lord, this is more than just conjecture. There's evidence to support the idea. We must investigate it thoroughly. Very well. The court will accept the new report as evidence. However, if this updated report is deemed to be accurate, it would give renewed significance to the movements of the victim on the day before the Fresno Street incident. It would, yes, especially since on that day, Inspector Gregson was using Mr. Visual to cover up his real movements. It's conceivable that he was killed in the course of his secret activities. Do I sense that the prosecution has some information regarding those activities? Scotland Yard put an enormous effort into investigating that precise matter yesterday. I think we should begin by presenting the results of that investigation work. So the prosecution calls its first witness now. Gina? Yep, that's what I figured. Hello, just passing by. I know I'm still in recovery process, but I hope you're doing well today. Even so, I'm still pretty serious about Project Phantom Mod Brother 2. I hope you're doing okay yourself, Ton. I hope your recovery is going well. I hope you also got a chance to see Speeder's update about a new unit for Mental Omega. I look forward to it. State your name and occupation for the court. Inspector Gina Lestrade, reporting. Representative of Scotland Yard. Hey, she's learning big words. A self-conferred rank, but never mind. Gina? Again? What's your problem, Odo? What's with that Gina? Again? Look, eh? The boss meant the world to me. He done more for me than anyone else ever did. Oh, Inspector Gregson, you mean? He got me out of the back slums of the East End and took me under his wing. Taught me that life can have a purpose. That's why I'm the best person to be standing here speaking for him. Oh, Gina. Right. All out of the goodness of Mr. Gregson's heart. Mr. Gregson? All out of the goodness of Gregson's heart. Not at all that he had his arm twisted by Mr. Sholmes. No. Hold on. My cat wants to play with toy, so I have to play with her. We got so much more rooms, though. I cleaned my room up a whole bunch. Now we got room. Okay then. My god, she loves playing with that toy. Ugh. What's relevant to these proceedings is that the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations yesterday has revealed that the victim was carrying out some assignment the police knew nothing about. Very troubling. That face. Lord Strongheart knew. So, Inspector Lestrade, let's hear exactly what it says in that report. Coming right up, sir. Eurasian domination is basically Epsilon, but built on the ashes of the USSR. Western European Coalition is NATO, like allied nations in Europe. And Phantom, Imperative, is a foe in like high faction, high tech. I don't know if I'll play another mod like that, but I can look. If you're in the Discord server, Ton, feel free to link it to me or something. That's a little interesting, but are you sure? Are you sure it's just not a Mental Omega clone? That's the only thing. All yard detectives are supposed to follow orders and investigate what they're told. But a little search of the boss's office turned up a notebook that had loads of secret meetings in it. According to that, the boss was looking into some smuggled goods dealings that day. Looks like it was a big job and all, but the coppers weren't onto it yet. What matters most is there's witnesses what saw the Reaper at the place too. Huh? Smuggled goods? I don't know, do I? I'm just telling you what was written in the book. Tobacco, tea, spices, medicines, goods of all sorts flow into London by illegal channels from across the globe. It's well known that they're disposed of at irregular black markets that take place in the capital. But the police are rarely able to locate them in time. So Inspector Gregson was investigating one of those black markets? It's been suggested that high-ranking government officials may be involved in black market activity. Well, that's not a surprise there. PP is a mod from one of the people who made units for Foe and Visual, at least. Is it now? No Soviet faction, but each of these has three as a sub-faction. If there's no Soviets, I don't want to play it. We need more comrade. Without the Soviets, I just feel empty. No doubt Gregson was trying to avoid details of his investigations being leaked to the involved parties. That would explain why he was operating on his own authority without the Yard's knowledge. And do we know where the dealings were taking place this time? In a particular room of a certain exclusive London gentleman's club. And on that day in question, the accused is known to have been there. That's the conclusion of Scotland Yard's investigation of the matter. Okay, so Scotland Yard investigated themselves and investigated the Reaper and determined that the Reaper was a part of this and killed the dude who was part of Scotland Yard. That's literally all this is. It can't be! We haven't heard anything about any of this. Members of the club have testified to it. There's no question. The accused Barrick Van Zeeks was present. That would be very significant testimony then. Oh my, but Lord Van Zeeks has made no mention of this at all. In short, Lord Van Zeeks had ample opportunity to murder the victim. Man, that's a really, really weird-ass gavel. Very well then, counsel for the defense, begin your cross-examination. I'm concerned. I'm very concerned about Strongheart being the judge today. Eclipse from Phantom, Ward, Weapons Advancement and Research Division, and Coalition and Scythe, a nuclear testing syndicate from Dominion. These are some interesting faction names. I hope there's a story that ties it all together.
Hold it!
Bum, 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 bum. So, you follow orders, do you, Gina? Nah, not me. I'm above all that, see? Oh. The boss always had special orders for me. Grab us some fish and chips, or go and give Toby his grub, that kind of thing. So, errands more than orders, then? This detective is still an apprentice, after all. Yeah, well, this apprentice ain't one to sit around and wait to be told what to do, even by the boss. That's why I've been doing my own investigations into what happened. I didn't find much at first. Yeah, we're gonna have that notebook in the court record at some point. There's actually a backstory for Project Phantom and some other neutral factions as well. I don't know, man. If you tell me there's no Soviet faction in that mod, I just feel empty. I don't know. I have to look at it at some point. So you went through Inspector Gregson's things? Yup, as part of the independent Lestrade investigation. I'm sure your superiors would be delighted that you're taking the initiative. So I snuck into his office when no one else was about. Because if anyone at the yard had seen me going in there, they'd have turfed me straight out the street. This is sounding less and less like an investigation, and more like something else. I think there is some Soviet-like faction there. Is it really a Red Alert mod without the Soviets? Yeah, really, is it really Red Alert without the Soviets? That's the thing. Can you really axe the Soviets and the Allies? Like, can you legitimately do that? That's like implying that the United Nations never happened. Or that GDI never made GDI or something. It doesn't make sense. More like Blue Alert now. Oh man, that was funny. USSR collapsed 1952. Yeah, but we still have... There's still Russia. It doesn't have to be about the Soviets. It can still be about Russia. Just saying, though. It just feels empty without having... Russia! Space! The prosecution understands that it was this very detective who discovered the notebook. You got that right. Nothing gets past Inspector Lestrade and our trusty assistant, Chief Inspector Toby. We found it hidden in one of his desk drawers that had a false bottom. Wow. The Eurasian Dominion is built on Russia. Russia and using heavily armored tanks go hand in hand. So what you're saying is, Eurasian Dominion is Russia. They better have heavy tanks. That's impressive. So then I went to hide myself when no one could find me, so I could have a butcher's at what was written in it. Because if anyone at the yard found me out, they'd have me turfed straight out the street. I've given it in now, though, ain't I? And if it weren't for me, it would never have been found. We got a point. Smuggled goods. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Do you have any idea where those dealings were taking place? Yep. It was all there in the boss's notes. Let's see if I can remember. As I already said, the illegal dealings were due to take place at a gentleman's club. Yes, I remember, but I was hoping to find out the name of the club. That won't be necessary. What? It's conceivable that the club might be used again by the smugglers in the future. Therefore, the prosecution has been asked not to reveal the name in these proceedings. God damn it. The mod is built in the area's mod engine like Mental Omega. Damn, you'd think it'd be going to Phobos. I don't know what the fuss is all about. It's right here. All I gotta do is read it out. Oh, and I could too. I've got this reading game buttoned up now. Can't I show you what I can do? Go on. What's the harm? The judge hasn't signaled his objection yet. I could try to find out. What should I do? Oh shit, it doesn't make me skip text because it's a new chapter. Phantom is going Phobos for a while now. It's been developed for a while, like 10 years. Oh, so as long as Undertale Yellow has been in development then. Oh, gee, I don't know about this one. I'm gonna wait and see. Gina's only just learnt to read. There's no good chance she might make a mistake. I worry she might mix up the letters P and Q and B and D. That's enough for your cheek, Odo. I'm way past E now. I've got all the way to V. Just to err on the side of caution, the defense will wait until the witness can read all the letters up to Z. Grr. In that case, let's get back to the witness's testimony, shall we? I'll figure that out later if I have to push for that one.
Hold it!
Down, bum, 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 bum. So how had Inspector Gregson come to find out about it in that case? That's the question, ain't it? But I'm just an apprentice, so... And why didn't he inform Scotland Yard of his findings? Yeah, that's what I was asking myself, because, you know, I'm just an apprentice. When it suits you, yes. Anyway, the point is, something went on in that club, no question. Can't say that for certain, though, surely. Can she? This is the part that bothers me. The Reaper was there, too? Like, huh? Lord Van Zeeks was at the club? He was. Detectives who visited the club yesterday to make inquiries have confirmed it. Several members report having seen the accused being admitted to the room in question as a guest. It looks like there's no disputing that he was there, then. Well, we know that Lord Van Zeeks was investigating Inspector Gregson, don't we? Perhaps he'd already discovered the Inspector's secret notebook? Which led him to the club, you mean? Maybe. Presumably, then, there are also eyewitnesses who can testify that Gregson was there? None have been identified at this time, no. What? Indeed, but it will finally release its beta testing in 2024. Damn, that's crazy that they've been in development for that long, though. Then again, Mental Omega was is still in development for this long. And it was gonna go now. Bye, bye, Tan. So the all-important victim wasn't seen at this mysterious club. Oi, why aren't you asking Inspector Lestrade here, eh? Look, I don't know what to ask you. So that's all I've got to work with. Gina's not holding back with the ice-cold stare of hers, is she? I really don't know what to make of all this. Lord Van Zeeks told us that he was investigating Inspector Gregson, but he never once mentioned that he meant the inspector the day before the incident. You don't think Lord Van Zeeks could have been lying to us, do you? No. That's not the only way to explain this. Oh? If everything Lord Van Zeeks has told us is true, then there must be a mistake in this testimony somewhere. You mean there are details we've yet to uncover? Exactly. Clue, perhaps, that even Gina hasn't noticed. That's what we should be looking for here. Wait, so do I press and ask her about the name?
Hold it!
Let's see. Bah! This is a closed court. The proceedings are confidential. There shouldn't be any possibility of the information being leaked. As I explained, there is some possibility of politicians being involved in this affair. The prosecution is rightfully exercising caution, I imagine. No, my lord. The prosecution has no objection. Oh? Kazuma? There's no question that Inspector Gregson was looking into these black market dealings. However, it's not yet been established that he was on that particular trial on that trail on the day in question. If the defense requires to know the club's name, the prosecution has no intention of being obtrusive. Right then, I get to show off my reading skills. Apparently, the smuggled goods deal was gonna happen at a gentleman's club called the Grouse. The Grouse? The Grouse? What sort of club is that? I ain't got the foggiest. Clubs ain't exactly my thing. But I am kind of curious. They're not places where a foreign student like you would be readily admitted. Have you looked in the mirror recently? I'll tell you what. Me and Chief Inspector Toby could go in undercover. Could you, though? I could pick out a few good marks and see what else I could find out what was there. In there. I really don't think you should go picking out anything. Anyway, that's where these black market deals were going to take place, is it? Yeah, it's gotta be. That's what the lower-ranking detectives at the yard reckon. Says the even lower-ranking detective. What does that even do for me, though? Wow, okay. That's all I have. I'm gonna have to start from here. Jesus fuck, okay. Okay, what do we have? Literally nothing on this page. Got the photograph of Mr. Vigil. It doesn't show anything. We got the letter of introduction on a blackbird line. What does this say? Some sort of steamship ticket. Oh! I see. The SS Grouse. Ah, that's the boat that Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku came on from Japan, isn't it? Yes, I think it called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for the night before arriving in Dover. I think it's been almost a year since we arrived on the SS Buria. Seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of the trip, don't you think? This might be the piece of evidence I have to share, maybe. I don't know. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo? Anyway, we looked at that, so, SS Grouse. I think that's the only thing I have that has any link to Grouse. Unless the notice board has something about it, but I don't think it does. Okay, so let's take a look here. Supposed to follow orders, investigate what they're told. Okay. Little search of the boss's office, notebook. Smuggled goods, gentleman's grouse, big job, coppers went in on it. What matters is the witness saw them at the place too. Okay. This is the only thing I can. This is the only thing I can present to this.
Objection!
It was right though. Phantom is a mod that I have been keeping an eye on, by the way. The creator made big contributions to ML. So, you think it's gonna be really good then? A new addiction to add to the collection? I read all about these clubs that exist here in Britain. As I understand it, they're places where well-to-do gentlemen socialize with friends and colleagues. Don't imagine for a second that a foreign student like you would be admitted. Seriously, is your mirror cracked or something? Do we know for sure that the contraband dealings were definitely happening at a club called the Grouse? The police are currently looking for evidence, but haven't found anything definitive yet. And I'm sorry to say that they probably won't. What do you mean by that? I mean that the place Inspector Gregson was secretly going to visit on 31st October may not have been a gentleman's club at all. Absolutely, that guy didn't give up on the mod 10 years ago. I will at least play the beta if it gets me new addiction. Yeah, okay, I'll give it a... When the beta comes out, I'll give it a shot. But do I play it on stream? That's the question. You're showing a very irreverent attitude towards our country's police force there, Council. If it wasn't a gentleman's club, then what was it? A steamship. You think it's a ship? I have the evidence to prove it here. Let me see that. This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. The other side, my lord. Be more specific next time. This would appear to be a ticket for passage upon a steamship, yes. The SS Grouse.
Objection!
So there's a steamship named the Grouse that happens to share a name with the club. But I'm afraid to say that there's a flaw in your logic there. How? Look at that ticket. Then notice the date of arrival in port. The ship arrived at the port of Dover on 1st November. The day on which the sound like a gunshot was heard on Fresno Street. In other words, on the day in question here, 31st October, when the victim was on his clandestine mission, that ship hadn't yet docked on British shores. That would certainly make an undercover investigation somewhat challenging. And what about the passport, though? The fact that the steamship hadn't yet reached Britain substantiates the defense's assertion that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the day in question. Then show your evidence for that assertion. Very well. In that case, counsel for the defense, present your evidence to the court now. Evidence that substantiates your claim that the victim was investigating the SS Grouse on the 31st of October. Is this what I was looking for? I think this is what I wanted to look at. Oh, so I think the Dominion is something like Soviets and Epsilon Crazy Mix. What? That doesn't sound fun at all. Wait, this is the wrong thing I'm looking at. No, I want the passport. Yeah, here it is. Within 1 week from 31st October. Found it.
Take that!
What's this? A passport for travel issued to the victim. Dated 31st October. What are you suggesting? I'm suggesting that just 1 day before the inspector's body was discovered, there's a distinct possibility that he wasn't even in the country. Order! Order! This document is for passage to France. It does appear to have been officially authorized. The day before the SS Grouse arrived at Dover, it docked on the northern coast of France for a night. According to my father, who was on board, at the port of Dunkirk. Dunkirk, France. What could possibly have taken the victim there? I'm impressed, Ryanosuke Naruhodo. Was it Ryanosuke? Renasuke? I swear to God, Reine said the name and I don't remember how she said it. I think it helps that she knows Japanese, so she knows that there's a different pronunciation for Ryu's name, and I don't have it. I certainly didn't expect you to get your hands on that passport. What? You mean, you knew about this? The prosecution's strategy for this trial has been laid down by the Crown Prosecution Office. On the day before the incident, the victim was investigating contraband dealings at a London club. That's the outcome of Scotland Yard's investigations and the line the prosecution has been asked to follow. But personally, I don't agree. I think the prosecutor's office is trying to hide something. What? And now you've expertly disproven their assertion, I intend to reveal what I believe that something to be. What are you playing at, Prosecutor Asogi? The courtroom is a forum for the truth, my lord. Which is why it's my duty to present all the facts, without exception. Let me guess. This was your intention from the outset, wasn't it? The reason Inspector Gregson secretly made his way to the steamship docked in France on the day in question was to carry out a mission for the Reaper. Wait, what the hell? That's a stretch in logic. Jeez, okay. Order! Order! What on earth are you saying, counsel? Yeah, what are you saying? The prosecution made an assertion in court yesterday. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. As I'm sure everyone can imagine, by the Reaper's hand. But in reality, the truth is that the opposite of that. What? Inspector Gregson wasn't investigating the Reaper at all. He was, in fact, acting for the Reaper. So, you're saying the mission he was undertaking was, obviously, an assassination. That's a stretch. That's a stretch. Eric Van Zeeks never carried out any of the actual killings. Whenever the Reaper's victims lost their lives, he always had a cast-iron alibi. Which tells us that he must have had an accomplice. And you claim that was Inspector Gregson. But what the hell do you think you're saying, eh? My boss would never have done nothing like that. And yet, when you consider all the facts, it all makes perfect sense. No, it can't be. We also arrived at the same conclusion, didn't we? That Inspector Gregson was operating as the Reaper. Even so, there's no way the person giving him his orders was Lord Van Zeeks. No, the true Reaper is somebody else. Asa Shin, perhaps? Barrick Van Zeeks is not the Reaper. A predictable response from someone who's advocating for the man. And even if it's true that Gregson was operating as an agent of the Reaper, the suggestion that he went aboard the SS Grouse on an assassination mission doesn't follow at all. Oh, you have some solid reason for doubting the assertion, do you, Counsel? Absolutely. It's very simple. On the day in question, nobody was killed aboard the steamship. Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jogoku were on that very ship. If someone had been assassinated, I'm certain we would have heard about it. What's so funny? You're right, of course. No suspicious deaths were reported on board the ship. But I think perhaps you've missed the point. That's precisely why Inspector Gregson himself lost his life. What? Gregson did board the SS Grouse that night with the intention of dispatching his mark. But his mission ended in failure. Failure? It seems that the defense hasn't yet grasped a very important detail here. What are you talking about? What detail? Inspector Gina Lestrade. Eh? What? The victim's notebook that you read an excerpt from earlier, that doesn't contain details of secret investigations at all. It describes 10 years of assassination plots to be carried out by the Reaper of the Bailey. You're lying! Even if all of them bludgers what got taken out had it coming, the boss weren't the Reaper. Or Gina. There's no question that Tobias Gregson was heavily involved in the Reaper's activities. You may just be an apprentice, but if you spent any time at Scotland Yard, you must have heard rumors. I ain't heard nothing. And I don't believe a word of it. Man, what did you hear, though? Then testify again as a representative of Scotland Yard. Consider it your chance to defend your boss. I don't. I concur. The witness will give a new formal testimony. Man, why are they harassing Gina so bad? Just know they have a heavy ship called Pandemonium. It has nuclear cannons for its weapons. What the fuck? That's straight up Soviet. That's Soviet power right there. Miss Lestrade, you will tell the court everything you know about Inspector Gregson's secret notebook. Gina's getting bullied today, dude. She's just getting bullied. Stop bullying her! Yeah, this notebook does have a lot of stuff about what the Reaper got up to these past 10 years. Names of victims, dates, and places and stuff, and the last entry in there was 31st October. It said Grouse for the place on that, date, and then the name of the mark. There was a note about him being a criminal what got away from the Reaper in court 10 years ago. Summit. What? But honest, the boss didn't do none of it. He was just investigating the Reaper, that's all. It looked hella fun. It's like Yuri gave up on mind control and said, fuck it, we ball. Ha! Keep personal opinion out of your testimony, witness. We require only established fact here. Bruh. This must be so hard for her. You can't deny it now, surely, Ryanosuke Naruhodo. What can't I deny? The notebook contained the name of the final mark, and the location where the assassination would take place. That's information that the victim could only have known if he was worked with the Reaper. So, who was to be this final mark? Go ahead, Inspector Lestrade. Read the name for the court. The name that's written alongside the entry that mentions the Grouse on 31st October. Eh? Oh, How do you read this, then? Reading's still not her strong suit. That ain't the problem, alright, Odo? It's a funny name. It ain't English. It's hard to read. So it's someone from overseas. Let me have a bash at it. What? Yeah, Sashiro. Jig... Oh, you, maybe? Oh, what? What? It can't be. Shishiro Jigoku? But that's Judge Jigoku. Shishiro Jigoku. Certainly not an English name, you're right. But that can't be right. I know Judge Jigoku. And I saw him the day before yesterday, here in London. So I know for a fact that the man hasn't been assassinated. As I said, the Reaper failed. Oh. Gregson missed his chance to kill his mark and return to British shores. But the Reaper wouldn't tolerate the mistake, so he killed the Inspector personally. Huh? The Reaper, of course, being the accused, Barrick Van Zeeks. It's an undeniably logical argument. Kazuma, you planned for the trial to go this way all along, didn't you? Huh? Whoa! Not who I expected. Nice chalice. Pray forgive the discourtesy of filling my hallowed chalice whilst I stand accused of murder. The Lord Van Zeeks! The accused has no right to speak uninvited in court. You are returned to the dock. I say nothing of whether or not I'm the Reaper. That's the task of this court to decide. But there is one thing I can say unequivocally. That girl is no detective. Eh? What? Nah, that's right, I ain't. I'm an inspector. Repeating rumors heard around the yard. Reading entries from a notebook of unconfirmed origin. That's not testimony, it's practically a script. No doubt the rest of this trial will go exactly as you've clearly planned. Called out. Your hatred of me is understandable. In your mind, I'm sure I am the Reaper, who sent your father to the gallows all those years ago. Punched him right in the gut with that one. But you're in danger of becoming a far more sinister Reaper yourself. By attempting to have me condemned with this feeble excuse for testimony. What did you say? Mr. Naruhodo, this is our chance. My lord, the defense requested the defendant be allowed to speak. He may be privy to important information related to the testimony just given by the witness. Very well. I'll make an exception and grant the request. The defendant may remain in the witness stand for the cross-examination. Then allow me to toast the court's impartiality. Don't raise your glass in my direction, sir. Counsel for the defense, begin the cross-examination immediately. This is so... What the fuck, dude? I'm out of water at this point in time. So... At once, my lord! I'm gonna be right back to get more water, because if I don't get some water, I'm gonna die! So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Oh yeah, water here is finally normal, thank God. Thank God for you, dude. I finally have water now, too. Well, more water. I put ice in it. Alright. Time for a cross-examination. And I imagine that, because, Barrick, or Van Seeks is here, we might get something weird. In other words, it shows that Gregson was basically acting as the Reaper. Not you and all. Not you and all. That ain't the only explanation, is it? He could have been investigating the Reaper in secret, and the notebook said what he found out. If I may. When originally people began referring to me as the Reaper, I didn't object. I believe the power to intimidate London's criminal classes into compliance with the law to be beneficial. But you carried out your own investigations into the true identity of the Reaper, didn't you? Yes, and those investigations proved conclusively that Gregson was one arm of the Reaper. One arm? What do you want about? The Reaper's victims were all extremely shrewd criminals at the top of their game. There's simply no way one person could have taken them on alone. The Reaper is an organization, with you at its head. Fucking Kazuma. I had spies at the yard keeping me abreast of Gregson's movements, letting me know when he was elsewhere. So I'd been able to check the most recent entry in his book. I knew the location. You knew it said grouse? My cat wants to play more toy. She wants to play. She just wants to play. She was tired for a good amount of time there, but now she's like, I play more. Play more. Yeah, that's right, Zoe. Chase the toy. Chase your favorite butter. I was gonna say boobafly, but it's butterfly. Okay, actually, fun story about this. Speaking of bugs, not butterflies specifically, but during work today, a grasshopper managed to make its way into my manager's office. She got so damn scared because she saw something like jumping around, and some other guy tried to catch the grasshopper, but he couldn't do it, right? So I'm like, yeah, let me just give it a try. It's just a grasshopper, for God's sake. So I put my hand out, right? In a little, I laid it in front of it. And the grasshopper actually, climbed on my hand. And when it was fully on my hand, I was like, this is the perfect chance to just close my hand over it for a moment and take it outside. I left a bit of an opening on my hand, I don't think I could reach. No, I can't show it. It's too far away. I left an opening in my hand, so when I was holding it, as I was walking out and holding it, the grasshopper would peek out and look around while in my hand while I was escorting it outside. I thought it was super cute. But, yeah, I managed to get him outside, but oh my god, that bastard would not want to... He didn't want to leave my hand. He was just, chilling there. Despite, look, you're outside, you're free. You're not in a damn office. You can get out now. You can jump. But he wouldn't go. I was stuck there waiting for it to move for, a minute and a half or something. But my god, that little thing was so cute. I don't know why it was so cute. It's just a grasshopper, but it was so cute. Believing it to be a reference to that gentleman's club, I went there on the day in question to investigate, alone. Ah, so that explains why several members of the club have claimed to see you there. Hi, D&D. But of course the inspector was not there, because at the time he was making his way to the steamship docked in the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. Very well then, back to your testimony about the contents of this notebook. Fine. I'm doing good, dude. My throat is getting very parched, but at this point I'm not surprised. It's been really goddamn hot and my throat is just dying a little bit. Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? You seemed a little shocked by something a moment ago. Oh, no, it's alright. I'm overthinking this, aren't I? Am I?
Hold it!
Names of victims, dates, places, and stuff? What in particular? Well, besides the victim's names, this other name kept cropping up. What other name was that? It's the one I told you yesterday, the same name, written over and over again. You mean... Asa Shin? Yeah, that's the one. She's a friend of yours or something, isn't she? Were you even listening yesterday? What happened yesterday? What happened yesterday? Yesterday I went to the... Wait, was that yesterday? No, yesterday I had bad allergies. And I was unable to, like... I couldn't go 5 minutes without sneezing or having to blow my nose. It was that bad. So I just, like, gave up and went to bed. And then the day prior to that, I went to the dentist to get a, crown topping. For, yeah. Crown topping. I don't know what else to call it. Asa Shin, the assassin. What? Like, a killer, you mean? Gregson was the tactician, the one who came up with the plan of attack. He investigated the marks thoroughly, finding out when they would be vulnerable, and who to use to get at them. But the person actually executing his plans was someone else, you're saying? If that's true, then the Reaper does indeed start to sound like an organized group of vigilantes. Ah, then perhaps what is said on the passport document. Permission for the applicant and one additional person to travel. Could that additional person have been... Clearly the assassin, who was meant to take Shishiro Jogoku's life. Well, no, it was brief, but it's 4 a.m. and I have to sleep. But hey, at least I won't be waking up on the week. Have a good sleep, D&D. You rest well, sir. That was the weakest one of... Gina, can you confirm that, against the final entry that listed Grouse and Shishiro Jogoku, what name was written? Oh, well... That's the only entry that didn't have a name next to it, as it happens. What? It just add like a question mark or something there, I think. In other words, Gregson himself didn't know the identity of the assassin in that case. But Gregson was the one making the plans, was he not? Oh, how infuriating. A nameless assassin? Ah, man, I'm confused with this one.
Hold it!
And you're saying that the mark listed was Shishiro Jogoku? That's what it said. Fun name, if you ask me. And I thought your name was odd. So pleased to have lost my crown there. Mr. Jogoku is the presiding judge of Japan's Supreme Court Adjudicator. I remember the man. He came to our country as a visiting student 16 years ago, studying international law and diplomacy under your tutelage, Lord Strongheart. That bearded young fellow was a very able man, I must say. So Lord Strongheart was Judge Jogoku's mentor. If I'm not mistaken, he returned to Japan 10 years ago now. 10 years ago, after that fateful case. Precisely. In the aftermath of the Professor case, his I don't know how to pronounce that word, was organized immediately. It's a mystery why such a man would be listed in the inspector's notebook. I didn't think it was possible, but the mood here's got even worse now. Maybe I'll just keep talking. Okay, the note about Shishiro being a criminal, I don't get that. What do you mean, a criminal? Judge Jogoku is no criminal. Well, don't ask me. I don't know nothing about it. Oh, do you remember what Father told us? That Judge Jogoku did once appear in court here in Britain? It was related to the Professor case, I'm sure. Yes, of course, you're right. Oh yeah, he tried to testify and ended up getting in trouble for it. Shishir was trying to mitigate Genshin's guilt, so he took to the stand to testify, but he got a little carried away and, actually managed to break the witness stand. He also said some contemptuous words about the British Empire, for which he was charged. It was a pitiful situation, yes. I'd forgotten all about it, but I prosecuted that trial too, as it happens. You did? It was considered to be an adjunct to the Professor proceedings, you see. But he was acquitted after being told to make reparation for the damage caused to the stand. And there you have it. Have what? Surely the accused hasn't forgotten his own rule. That there's no saving anyone who faces the Reaper in court, guilty or innocent alike. What? No! Are you suggesting that the reason Judge Chigoku was targeted for assassination, the man was sent back to Japan immediately after the trial? The Reaper had no time to do his work. But then, 10 years later, the mark returns to Britain once more. Perhaps now you start to see just how vindictive the Reaper is. Yeah, but what about, there's still... What about Gina? Come on, that's absurd. To take someone's life for that? Isn't the whole premise of the Reaper absurd, killing those who have been found innocent? Clearly the rules by which the man operates are beyond a sane person's comprehension. But... Oops, did not mean to do that. Right, I've had just about enough of this. Gina? All this nonsense about the boss planning to kill people? It's cobblers. Come on, Odo. Yes? Why ain't you saying nothing? Why ain't you yelling out objection or summit? What? You've gotta find a flaw, you do usually. Someone's lying here, no question. You gotta work out who it is. Please, for the boss. Damn. That outburst was an insult to the court and to your own testimony. I might have known that a common pickpocket from the back slums couldn't make a detective. When this trial is over, you will forfeit your warrant card, Miss Lestrade. Is that clear? I've had it with a lot of y'all. It's lies every bleeding place. You look in this world, ain't it? Well, I've had enough. Poor Gina. She's just getting bullied, dude. So have I. After that little speech of Gina's, I've made up my mind. To do what, Mr. Naruhodo? There was one point in this cross-examination when something that was said just didn't sit right with me. One statement that seemed odd. Oh? Do you mean... I'm not gonna let Gina's plea for help fall on deaf ears. You're gonna have to... I need help, because I don't remember now. Short-term memory loss is a bad thing. I want to thank you, Gina. You helped me find my resolve. Eh? What do you mean? Amongst everything we've heard during this cross-examination, there's one thing that defies explanation. One inconsistency. What? An inconsistency? Really, Odo? I don't quite know what it means yet, but... Yes, there's an inconsistency in something that was said by... By who? Why do I feel like it's Strongheart every time? swear to fucking God.
Take that!
Is it? No, it's probably not. There was definitely something strange about it that didn't add up. And then that's not true, though. The inconsistency is a statement made by this person. People can only be inconsistent in what they say if they actually testify. But in case you hadn't noticed, the person you're accusing isn't even in the stand. The defense appears unable to respond to that replication. Any further, obviously deliberate obstructions of these proceedings would not be tolerated, counsel. You know, I would be surprised if, I'm actually surprised that Strongheart doesn't do a double damage or something. Yeah, I needed to go through what the hell people were saying. Because I don't remember. I know Ryu said something that caught my eye when he said that something was pointing it out to him, but... Well, I'm sure Cosmo intends to limit any shred of doubt that the man is guilty. He's looking for revenge against the person he considers to be his father's killer, after all. I do worry that if we fail to find a discrepancy in this testimony somewhere, trial may end and adjudication won't go in our favor. Let's listen carefully again to what everybody is saying. Yeah, but I have to go through all this again because I don't remember. I'm reading silently, sorry. Wait, how does he know about the metal trunk? Yeah, wait, how does he know about that? He shouldn't know about that.
Take that!
By you, Kazuma Asogi. Me? Is this some attempt at filibustering, counsel? Wow, that's a word I didn't expect to hear here. Prosecutor Asogi has given no testimony. What are you suggesting I said that was inconsistent? You let something slip that you shouldn't have. When I present the relevant piece of evidence, I imagine you'll realize what you've done. Very well then, counsel, go ahead. What evidence reveals this alleged inconsistency in something Prosecutor Asogi has said? Chest. This is a trunk that belonged to Inspector Gregson. A metal construction, is it? It's certainly very heavy. What's this? A bloodstain? And a relatively fresh one, too. What? You mean that ain't grease from all the boss's fish and chips? Fresh blood on the inspector's trunk. That suggests that the victim was traveling with that luggage when he was killed. That can't be. There was no mention of any trunk in Scotland Yard's report. Yes, there's a reason for that. Immediately after the inspector's body was discovered, one of the street peddlers made off with the trunk, hoping to sell it. But I found it, me, with me nose for trouble. Which means that nobody should have known anything about the trunk. Unless, of course, we're talking about somebody who was present when the victim was killed. And yet, during the cross-examination of the witness just now, you said this, Kazuma. Because at the time, he was making his way to the steamship docked on the northern coast of France, as shown by the passport found in the victim's metal trunk. How do you know about that? So the question is, how did you know about the inspector's trunk? We know the man went on a trip to France. Where else would he have put his passport? No, you can't get out of that one. But you knew it was a metal trunk. Answer me honestly, Kazuma. On 31st October, where exactly were you? At the port of Dunkirk, on board the SS Grouse. Is that the answer you're looking for, Ryanosuke? Kazuma, what did you... What is going on here? I hadn't considered the possibility before, but if Kazuma was there on the ship, then it can only have been for one purpose. Oh no, Mr. Naruhodo, surely you don't think... Come on, Ryanosuke, you know the rules. The only thing that really talks in the courtroom is hard evidence. As I understand it, Inspector Gregson always took that case with him when he traveled. So as it stands, you proved nothing. Kazuma, are you challenging me to prove it, beyond all reasonable doubt, that you were there that day, in the same place as the Inspector? He was there with Gregson? There's a clue that you've overlooked, a secret that trunk can tell us. Can't be sure at this point, I'll need to verify it, but I have a nasty feeling that I'm going to be right. The accusation being made is deeply disturbing, but nevertheless we must test it. Real quick, before we do anything, can I actually examine that? Have you seen this huge gas across the side of the trunk here? It's gone right through the leather and into the metal behind. Gosh, for a metal chest like this to have been so badly damaged, whatever made that gash must have struck the side of the trunk with considerable force. I wonder how it happened. Okay, then. The defense will identify for the court where in the trunk this alleged clue is to be found. Where's the evidence that ties Prosecutor Osogi to Inspector Gregson? It's this. It's whatever that is. This is your proof. What do you say to that, Prosecutor Osogi? Personally, I think tying the defense counsel to the inspector's trunk and tossing it into the sea would be more helpful. What, have I got the answer wrong? What? At least that way, London's courtrooms would be safe from his destructive accusations. I believe that was a rather long-winded way of telling you that you're wrong, Mr. Naruhodo. Very well, then let us see if you sink or swim under the weight of this penalty, counsel. Ow. What the heck? Why is that wrong? How is that wrong? So this is the thing?
Got it!
Why is this wrong? Also, I should really be saving because I'm about to game over from this. I don't get it. I don't understand. What am I missing here? Did I miss the thing or something? you're gonna have to forgive me because I'm actually lost about this one. I know for a fact this was blue when I presented this, so I don't know why I feel like I missed it. Is there something else about this stupid thing I'm missing? Ah, here it is. Looks like a fragment of metal of some sort, but it's wedged in so tightly I can't remove it. Well, don't cut yourself. You better leave it, I think. That's what I want to present.
Got it!
There's a small piece of metal lodged in the wall of the trunk here, like the tip of a blade. Eh? A blade? Kazuma, slung around your waist as ever today, is the esteemed blade Karuma. Of course it is. Won't you draw it, here in this courtroom, for all to see? Exercise caution, my learned friend. That man is the son of London's most notorious killer. Bailiff, watch Prosecutor Asogi like a hawk. That won't be necessary. Oh no! The tip is broken. What? If the fragment of metal from the trunk fits together with the end of the sword, the question of who was there with Inspector Gregson will be answered. Agreed, Kazuma Asogi? What is happening here? Expertly done, Ryunosuke. That's a point to you and well deserved. Do you mean to tell the court, Prosecutor Asogi? Yes, on 31st October, I accompanied Inspector Gregson to Dunkirk. What? Why? In order to carry out a mission. What the fuck? Why? So the additional person authorized to travel was me. And the mission was the assassination of the Mark. What? You mean you're the killer whose name was omitted from this notebook? You were following the Reaper's orders to dispatch Judge Jigoku? I don't believe that. Let me make one thing perfectly clear. I have killed no one. Explain. I accepted the assassination mission, yes, and I accompanied Gregson to Dunkirk, but I never had any intention of carrying out the plan. You were never going to do it? You can believe Kazuma-sama, I'm sure. After all, Judge Jigoku arrived safely in London the following day. On 31st, I boarded a train from London with Inspector Gregson. We traveled to Dover, from where we crossed the channel to Dunkirk. Then we boarded the SS Grouse and made for the cabin deck, as indicated in the plan. Went to Judge Jigoku's cabin? Exactly. He wasn't there, though. We decided to wait, but you've already told us you had no intention of going through with it anyway. I didn't come to Great Britain to take anyone's life, so I left Gregson and disembarked the ship. I spent the night at the boarding house in the town and returned to England the following morning. A boarding house in Dunkirk? My signature will be in the register book. It would be simple enough to verify. Then, what became of Jigoku? Yeah, Zoe? What's the matter? Then what became of Jigoku? Gregson was no assassin, so the mark was spared. I'm sure it's easy enough to imagine what happened after that. Gregson returned to England as well, having failed to complete the mission. He met with the Reaper in that room on Fresno Street to report the failure, causing the infuriated mastermind to pull the trigger. Wait, he purposely wanted this to happen and end his wretched agent's life. Doesn't make any sense, though. That's the real truth behind Inspector Gregson's murder.
Objection!
But if you did nothing as you claim, how did the tip of your sword come to be lodged in the inspector's trunk? That's one question, isn't it? I don't need to answer that. Huh? The victim was killed by a gunshot. A small fragment of a Japanese blade isn't relevant to the case. She's not wrong. And accordingly, I choose to exercise my right to silence on that matter. You bitch. You fucking bitch. Be that as it may, the court will sequester the sword as evidence. As you wish, my lord. I can't believe this thing is actually in evidence. We must take immediate action now. Before you do that, though. Wait, what did I tap? Karuma, the Great Blade. It's such a thing of beauty. I want to gaze on it for hours. The tip of the great sword, broken. It's such a shame. It's been so meticulously cared for over the years. I can almost hear Karuma's sobs. Kazuma must have really taken a swing for that to happen. Yeah, there's nothing for me to glean on this thing. It's just a sword. It literally is just a fucking sword. Unless this isn't Karuma. Karuma. To verify whether Shishiro Jigoku remains unharmed. What? Remains unharmed? I agree. That should be our first priority. It's recently come to my attention that he hasn't been seen since yesterday. How did you... When a foreign dignitary invited to Great Britain goes missing for 24 hours, it's only natural that the question of his safety should arise. You don't mean to say that you think Judge Jigoku may have been killed? The Reaper has more than one assassin at his disposal, and he has the power and influence to give orders from inside of a prison cell. Isn't that right, Lord Van Zeeks? If I were truly the Reaper, I'd be able to tell you. Order! Order in the court! Order! We will take an emergency recess for 30 minutes. Now? Guests of the symposium have been told to maintain regular contact with the organizer's office. The man can't be located within a half an hour. We will have to assume the worst. Oh no, not Judge Jigoku. No one would want to kill a harmless Japanese man who only just arrived in the country. Except, that is, for the Reaper, wanting to finish off a mark that slipped through the net 10 years ago. Over a fucking bench? Podium even, maybe? I would have to agree. Mr. Naruhodo, for the defense's sake, my lord, I sincerely hope we are successful. If we're unable to confirm Mr. Jigoku's healthy existence in the next 30 minutes, you will face grave difficulties. Court is adjourned for 30 minutes. This is ridiculous, dude. Kazuma-sama, the Reaper's assassin. I feel as though I'm in a nightmare. I can hardly believe it either, but on the other hand, Kazuma isn't in the habit of making up stories. That's the part that I don't get. I have such a terrible sense of foreboding. If something awful has happened to Judge Jigoku, and I feel as though things will only spiral further and further out of control. I felt it from the moment I stepped into the courthouse this morning. That strange sensation that we were careering towards a foregone conclusion. Well, in the worst case, we might only have 30 minutes left. Unfortunately, though, I don't think there's anything we can do but wait now. We're out of options. Actually, there may be one last hand we can play. Or rather, one last ear. Of course! The little Mr. Sholmes doll that Iris gave us. I was wondering about that one. If for some reason you completely run out of options in the trial today, then just pull this little Hurley's ears as hard as you possibly can. Yeah! Perhaps now is the time. What should I do? Pull Harley's ears or no? That's a... You're gonna leave that choice up to me? Are we really out of options? Wow, well, I can tell you right now, I'm out of internet. All right, well, we can chill while I think about this for a minute. Good old internet. Good old internet let me down, as per usual. May as well check what Discord says. Check what Discord says. Check what Discord says. Nothing. What do you want, Zoe? What the fuck? Whoa, whoa, okay. You know how to grab a goddamn toy. Eh. My cat doesn't know what to do whenever I put the toy on top of this, what do you call it? On top of my, I got a new desk thing, table thing for my tissue boxes. And she's confused whenever I put it on top of there. She's like, can I grab it? Can I not? Are we back in it? Okay, cool. I'm gonna pull it. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull the damn thing. Here goes then, I'm gonna do it. Good luck, Mr. Naruhodo. No looking back. Heave! Ho! Ow! That scream sounded like Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Here, my dear fellow, here. What? It's the felt doll. What? I'm so confused. What? Pull the ears again, Mr. Naruhodo, as hard as you can. Alright then, I'll put all my strength into it. Heave! Ow! Please, my dear fellows, you don't need to pull my ear off. Mr. Sholmes, where are you? Myself and my trusty partner are presently in the first-class cabin area of the SS What are you doing there? The SS Grouse? She left Dover last night after the final pieces of cargo were loaded. We are currently docked at Dunkirk, but due to be underway again in half an hour. You've taken a ship to France? Please, even with my athletic prowess, I would struggle to jump the Straits of Dover. After we left Baker Street last night, we hurried by cab to the station and by train to the port, in order to board this vessel in time. So, you mean you'd already worked it out? That the steamship was where everything really took place? Mr. Naruhodo, pray, what is my name? Herlock Sholmes, world-famous great detective. Recited to perfection. Well done. You're a genius, Mr. Sholmes. That's the only word for it. Ow, 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 ow. Miss Susato, gently with this genius's ears, please. Oh my, I'm ever so sorry. If I may, Sholmes. Ah, there you are, Mikotoba. You may remember that it was in fact I who made the connection to the SS Grouse. At Scotland Yard yesterday when we examined that notebook and I recalled my steamship ticket. But of course it was, my dear fellow. And not once did I controvert that fact. I merely had our court-bound companions utter my name. Yes, you did, didn't you? We've just entered a recess. The trial resumes in 30 minutes from now. And if we're unable to present any new leads then, I'm afraid to say... Do not fret, please. It's for precisely that purpose that my partner and I have made this journey. I have no doubt we shall have welcome news for you within the half hour. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. That would be wonderful. Until later, then. Yes, you'll be hearing from us if we're not in touch first. Ow! I shan't be hearing anything if you keep tugging my ear in that mindless fashion. Whatever was the idea behind making a receiver operated in that way in the first place, Sholmes? Why the deuce would I know? It's Iris's invention, not mine. So wait, are we playing as Mikotoba? What? Whilst I know how much you enjoy being the hero of the hour, Sholmes, you have but half that now before the grouse puts to sea again. And if we don't conclude our investigations rapidly, we shall find ourselves in Naples before long. There are times, Mikotoba, when you make a surprising amount of sense. So, let us begin. Wait, are we really? First class cabin number 2, yes, this is the one. But I don't believe an investigation of the cabin is going to be plain sailing. That crewman standing in front of the door is an angry-looking fellow. Why are you loitering here? Who are you? My dear fellow, do you not recognize a world-famous great detective when you see one? The question really ought to be, who are you? Do you not recognize world-traveling great sailor, Chicken Stroganoff? Chicken Stroganoff? When you see, I noticed he has the name Sholmes on his arm. Great detective? Ha! Don't think so. Do you see that, Mikotoba? It would appear that this man is a devoted follower of mine. Goodness me, is that a tattoo that says Sholmes? I must say, while such adoration is flattering naturally, it does leave me a little cold. What are you talking about? Leave, now! How distressing. My loyal devotee knows me only by my name and not by appearance. And yet I already know a great deal about you, sir. You have a brother, I believe. Like yourself, he's a shipman. Currently traveling the world aboard a Russian steamship, in fact. How could you know this? Elementary, my dear Mikotoba. I'm sure it was. 3 days ago, I was bound for London aboard this ship, you see. I'm looking for one of my fellow passengers, a man by the name of Jigoku. There's no one with this name on board. But we know that he purchased a ticket for passage. Ah, you mean Eastern man. He left ship 2 hours ago. Here at Dunkirk, he said something about emergency, I think. What? Are you sure? So Shashir has realized that we're after him, has he? His cabin is the one behind you. We should like to investigate, please. No! I have orders not to let even mouse inside. Mikotoba, be a good man and draw this sailor's attention away, would you? Make up some excuse so he leaves the area. Does a great detective see that even sailors have ears, both left and right? Curses! The plan is ruined! And you have only yourself to blame, I'm afraid, Sholmes. Forget it. Cabin door is locked. Even if I am not here, you cannot get inside. My voice is dying. Mikotoba, I'm sure you haven't forgotten my special talent, have you? Opening any lock? Within a mere 5 seconds. So if you'd be so kind as to afford me the requisite time, old friend, in your typically accommodating manner. How could I refuse such a typically unappealing request, old friend? So I need to distract that burly sailor for 5 seconds, do I? Good man. So, the game is afoot. I'm really playing as Mikotoba. You know what's interesting is I feel like I should push story mode and just let Mikotoba do everything because I'm not Mikotoba. Ah, the switch for the electrical lights. Perhaps if I were to turn off the lights, the crewmen wouldn't be able to see what we were doing. Sure, I'll flick the switch. Ah, what is happening? Where's light? Now, Sholmes, now! Thud, thump. Nobody there. That was a close shave. Quite a knack you have, stumbling so violently in an apparently empty corridor. Do be quiet, Sholmes. I sure have to think of another approach. Alright, so that's not gonna work. That's a speaking tube for members of the crew to communicate with one another around the ship. I could just persuade our stocky sailor friend and he needed to use it. Sholmes could unlock the door whilst he was distracted. The question is how? That's the way back to the deck, but we certainly can't give up on this now. Okay, then. Would you like to step on a mousetrap? I think. Perhaps I could distract the crewman's attention with this somehow. Try it. Choo-choo! What? That sounds like Big Mouse and Trap. Choo-choo! I will bring bucket of water later and put out of misery. Wow. I don't like the sound of that. In any case, my dear fellow, that was quite unconvincing. Only Japanese mice make a chew sound. Oh really, Sholmes, and pray tell, what sound do Russian mice make? PP, naturally. Though also quite unconvincingly, I readily admit. So go ahead, Mikotoba, do a PP this time. No, thank you. I'm sure I can come up with an alternative solution. How about the fucking fire alarm? This would appear to be an alarm bell. All hell would break loose if that thing were to ring. The whole crew would know about it. That's a little... No, I think not. That would never work, surely. That's a little much. I feel like that one's a little too much. Another first class one. Empty as well. I had a quick look inside earlier, though I confess I didn't investigate the wardrobe. There may very well be a young Japanese fellow inside, perspiring merrily. If you're referring to Naruhodo, you know very well that he's currently perspiring merrily in court. Does it not strike you, though, Mikotoba, why the man stands guard only in front of this cabin when both are apparently vacant? At this point, I have nothing else to poke at except for the fire alarm, which I don't want to do, but... sure. Here goes, then. Pardon me in advance. You! What are you doing? If you were at sea, that would be a very bad problem. What's going on down there? Seaman Stroganoff, report at once. Sorry, sir, nothing to report. It was just a stupid trick. No, not by me, by word fib. No, as I told you. Now, Sholmes, now, done. Not even 5 seconds, eh? Well, don't stand there gawping at my brilliance, Mikotoba. In we go. Oh, yes. These fucking guys are so ridiculous. I can't believe these two are partners. SS Grouse, first cabin. Oh, what are we even... What? Why would you block that? Good gracious. It would appear that the occupant of this cabin did indeed disembark rather hurriedly. Oh, I don't have any more throat strength. It hurts now to talk. These clothes on the floor there, they're Shishiro's without question. Now it seems we are just a little too late. Yes, by about 2 hours. Still, whilst we're here, we should investigate thoroughly. There may well be 2 hours worth of clues to find in here. But that burly crewman may return at any moment, Sholmes. Indeed he may. Which makes this all the more thrilling. Okay then. How about we start with that big old chest? It's a very sizable trunk indeed. Shishiro is partial to all things large, and a rather clumsy fellow, if he failed to notice he'd left that behind. Perhaps he left it on purpose. It's lighter than you might think, but still a hindrance to speedy escape. Yeah, but what's the code? Pity. It's locked, so we can't look inside. Surely 5 seconds from now the situation will be quite different, though? Sadly not. It has a 7-digit combination lock. And I'm not in a morose enough mood to work through all the combinations in present. Fuck. Okay, what about the blocked pipe? The speaking tube here, look, though it's been stoppered with some cloth. So the voices of the crewmen on the bridge aren't an annoyance, I suppose. Or indeed, so that the voices in this cabin aren't heard elsewhere. Could something have happened in here that was for no one else's ears, do you think? Either that, or it could be to prevent snakes from entering. Oh my god. That's really become a favorite case of yours, hasn't it? What about the cabinet? According to the report I was given, Naruhodo was concealing himself in Asogi's wardrobe. Indeed he was, and it was of a smaller size to this one. Ah, you must climb inside yourself, my dear fellow. What? Whatever for? It was the site of my first fateful meeting with Mr. Naruhodo. You can experience the moment for yourself now, complete with my dramatic rhetoric. Come along now, in you go. This will only take a moment. Really, Sholmes, surely you can just tell me what you said. Well, I uttered some brilliant remark and opened the wardrobe to reveal the stowaway murderer. I think I'll just read about it in the Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. He's not wrong about that. What's in the bin? Waste paper basket, look, and there's still rubbish inside. Indeed, then let us pry. I've discovered recently I have a penchant for exploring the contents of others' waste paper baskets. I sincerely hope only for your work. Ah! Here we have a notice issued to passengers from 3 days ago. 3 days ago? The night before we arrived in London, then. When I was still aboard myself. Evacuation drone notice. Following departure from Port Dunkirk. I didn't even get to read that. Ah yes, there was an evacuation drill, I remember now. For our safety and security, all first-class passengers were constantly under the watchful eye of the crew. So it was a welcome relief to have some privacy for once. A notice about practice evacuation. Well, I don't know why I have that in my thing. Quite the exquisite glass, I must say. See here how it's something wrong, Sholmes? You suddenly trailed off. Ice, Mikotoba, ice! What opulence the first-class passengers enjoyed! Chilled drinks! Pardon? Could it be that this steamship is equipped with an electrically refrigerated cold room, do you think? Well, it is a luxury liner, after all. They have enormous refrigerators for storing all sorts of lavish produce as well as ice. Guess what that happens to be, guess what that kind of confirms for me. On our voyage from Japan, we enjoyed culinary delights from all over the world. Suddenly, Mikotoba. The sight of you is making my mouth water. I haven't taken on the flavor of the food I ate, you know. Yeah, but that confirms for me that there is actually something here. Hey, what the heck is going on with the wall is a slightly different color here, just here, do you see? Indeed. What you have observed arises when a frame that has been hanging for some time is removed. Perhaps your friend is an art thief. Now there's a bold deduction worthy of a great detective, I'm sure. He may very well be the elusive thief who has been plaguing France's galleries of late. I think perhaps we should focus on our attentions elsewhere, Sholmes, don't you? An outline on the wall. I feel as though I might have spotted something of a similar shape and size elsewhere. You don't gotta point it out to me, though. Hi. You! You are still here? Ah, Able Seaman Stroganev, hello again. I was beginning to think you'd never materialize. Eh? You are waiting for me? Of course! I was expecting you to burst in with a hearty Russian profanity far sooner. I was in trouble with Captain because of trick you played before. Poor innocent chicken. It is all your fault. Oh god, my voice. And my frames. Ship is leaving port soon. Get off, now. Of course, we shall disembark presently, my dear fellow, but first, there is something that must be done. What are you talking about? Why, naturally. The debunking of your deceit and the bearing of the truth. Kakoi? Kakoi? I'm afraid I see through your lies. For one thing, Mr. Jigoku has not yet left this vessel at all. And for another, my dear Seaman Stroganev, you know exactly where the man is even as we speak, don't you? How? How can you? Good gracious, Sholmes, you mean you've worked it out? All of it? It's really been too long, hasn't it, old friend? 10 years, no less. So, would you care to join me for a dance of my inimitable logic and reasoning? Another one? Nothing would please me more. Yeah, but you know what else would please me? I need to stop. My throat can't handle more. Also, my chat disconnected, so that means my internet's actually really dying. I'm gonna wait for that internet to come on back. 40 frames, 40 frames, 40 lost, 40, 40, 40, 39 actually. Dude, my internet's so bad I can't even use the my Wi-Fi. It's that dead. Hi, Zoe. Are we back? Is it back? It's kind of coming back. Isn't that right, Zoe? Get over here, Zoe. I gotta clean your eye. Okay, honestly though, I really don't have any more energy to give to the game. My voice... My tongue hurts, my voice hurts. I don't know why that beard back has been pushed, but it doesn't matter. I'm gonna end the stream here for the night. We can pick this up again next week, or whatever I decide to do this. Probably next week, though. There's a lot of things happening on Case 5. I'm sorry, Episode 5 that have been kind of throwing me for a loop, but, Miko Toba and Sholmes working together has been one of the more weird ones. Kazuma being with Gregson with the murder situation. I don't even know, dude. I guess we'll have to find out next week, though. For now, though, I'm gonna stop and rest my voice before it actually dies. So, I wish everyone a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. Come join Discord. Link is in the description. Leave a like, leave a comment, blah, 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 blah. And, subscribe. Yeah. Alright, bye, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.